Hey everybody, I am back for another video review, and this time we're taking a look at Transformers Combiner Wars, Voyager class Optimus Prime. Now this Optimus Prime is a very good Optimus Prime toy. However, I don't think, to me, it's going to be very memorable later on down the years. Comparing this guy to previous releases, here he is next to the Classics mould, which I still think is still the better mould. I do agree though that we do need an upgrade, but I don't think this guy is the figure to surpass this figure at the moment. However, I do have a personal liking for this guy. I think this guy tops both of these. So here's just a size comparison. It's the Voyager size scale. It does marry up very well to what we have had before in terms of a Voyager figure. He does also come with two guns. He comes with his classic style blaster rifle and this little engine bit here. Now, the two are meant to, well, I say meant to, the two, when they're put on the back, are meant to represent a sort of like engine block, power unit sort of thing. And there are two peg holes just here on the side. You can either move this out of the way or you don't have to, but basically these just slot into here like that, and they form sort of like this engine unit on the back. However, they don't actually clip and combine together, unfortunately, so the look is kind of useless. Transformation is really simple. Basically what you do is you just tab these panels on the side here, and these release the bottom section, so you can move that out. Then take the back section, fold that down to make the legs, and then this front piece here you want to just split apart. So we have the chest section, and you just want to rotate the arms at the top here as well. Now the legs are actually on a hinge at the bottom here of the waist, and that just swings into position. And of course straighten the legs out like that, flip up the feet, split the legs apart, and there is your Optimus Prime body. Now the head is actually a very clever reveal. It's not the best of reveals, but basically what you do is you see this little Autobot symbol here on the top. If you push down on one side, it will lift up the other side, and he does a little flip, sideways flip. And this little bit, you can fold that up if you want to. It's not really very hidden, to be honest, but there we have Optimus Prime in robot mode. So here we have him in robot mode. Now he does feature quite a bit of articulation. He does feature a ball jointed head, so his head can move all the way around. It is limited just by the shape of the head, unfortunately, but you can get some good poses out of it, and he does really have a good looking head. Not exactly the right shape, but it is very Optimus Prime-esque. So, he does feature a ratchet at the shoulder, a rotate joint at the bottom of the shoulder, elbow joint, no wrist movement, and a waist swivel, bend at the knee, and there is no foot pivot apart from what is the transformation joint. For me personally, I would prefer to have ratchets in the knees rather than ratchets in the shoulders, because I don't see how the shoulders contribute to how stable the Ultra Prime figure is. Okay, so for a size comparison, here we have him next to the Age of Extinction Evasion Mode Optimus Prime from Age of Extinction. This is the Takara version, but the size is still the same. And you can see his a head taller than this guy. Here he is next to the original Classics Optimus Prime. As you can see, quite a bit of a difference in terms of size, in terms of how proportioned he is, in terms of the style as well. He's really gone back to sort of like that G1 Power Master Prime look. And of course here he is with his Wave 1 buddy Silverbolt. Okay, so basically to make him into the Combiner Core main robot section, basically what we had to do is flip Optimus Prime's head back, rotate the arms so that this tab is showing, and then that tab is going to tab into a little tiny tab hole there. And there's a little tiny groove there which is going to cup the joint that's here. It's a little tiny bit tricky, but you will get it eventually. And we just flip the hand back like that to reveal the connector port. Same on the other side, tab hole. And there's the wrist. Legs, we just want to basically rotate around. And there's some little tiny tabs on there, which basically, when you rotate the inner part, to show the inner part of the legs, there's these little flaps here. Now what you want to do is you want to rotate the legs at least about 1 or 2 clicks, and then just move the legs down so they're in that position. And there's a tiny little tab hole there which fits onto those tabs. So you kind of have to just find the right position just to wiggle those about. Then we just take this little bit here and collapse that up against there. You can collapse it down more, but to me that makes no sense. And what we do for the last bit is open up the back piece, which is now the chest piece, and we just fold up this little grey piece here, which reveals the head. And there we have the core robot torso for the Ultra Prime figure. Okay, so let's attach some limbs to this guy. We're going to get some legs, Alpha Bravo, and of course Sky Blast, and just attach them at the bottom there. Now these connector ports are basically just a slide-on clip. Basically you would, if I just, best thing to do is to show you with Alpha Bravo because his clip's more easier to see. But basically this little square peg just slides into the side of that and it just locks into place. And it's a very solid connection. It doesn't unlock or anything unless you actually just gently pull it. It's a really good solid system. So anyway, we've got 2 legs, now we just need some arms. Oops. Okay, for arms, let's take Firefly and just attach him onto there. And of course, we can't have Wave 1 without good old Dragstrip, who unfortunately is going to have to be in this combination because there are no other Autobot members in Wave 1 apart from Silverbolt. So, here we have Ultra Prime, the combination of all of Wave 1, essentially. And he does stand quite tall. He really is a tall combiner. Now, he does feature like the Energon Optimus Prime chest feature, where he's just basically got an open chest where you can see, not like a matrix, but a sort of like inner workings type of deal. And of course you can combine the guns and he can hold it in the hand like so. There's 2 little tabs there in the chest that you can hook a Legends figure onto. You really want to go with the Legends figures that have been released in Combiner Wars. Any past release will either break the figure or they're not totally designed to peg onto those tabs. But if you're not going to use those tabs, then you can just close the chest and it still perfectly looks fine. So for a size comparison, here we have him with the 2 Voyager Optimus Primes, just to see the difference in the heights. And he has now gained quite a bit of height. He's basically leader class size, just about. He's a little bit thin though, so he's not as sort of like bulky and as got much bulk to him, but he does have a good amount of height to him. And here he is next to the Power Rangers Wild Force Kongazord, also known as Gar Muscle. So he's taller than Gar Muscle. Here we have the Power Rangers in Space Astro Megazord. He's taller than the Astro Megazord. And for another epic size comparison, here he is next to the Super Sentai Gokaiger. This is the actual Japanese toy next to this guy. Pretty darn big. And this guy only, well, I say only just, I mean his sort of like shoulder cannons only just meet his head on that corner there. So, is this guy worth getting? He is definitely worth a purchase If you don't have any other Combined Wars figures in terms of Voyager class figures, so either Silverbolt or Motormaster or any Voyagers that will be coming out during the line, if you don't have any of those, this guy's definitely worth a purchase. Is he worth the resale price? As far as these Combined Wars figures go, I think these are definitely worth the resale price. That's not to say that they can't. I don't wish the prices to be lower. I just think that they've delivered enough for me to justify me paying the retail price on these. So he's good as an individual figure. As combined a unit core, I don't think he works as well. I don't really like Optimus Prime combining with a whole team of robots. To me, it doesn't make sense. I know he's done it before in Energon and Armada and Robots in Disguise and so on and so forth, but I don't like it when Optimus Prime has to combine with a team of 5 in order to just become a bigger robot. But he is definitely worth purchasing if you do like Combine the Wars, and he is a very good figure. He's not as good as the Superion, and he's not as good as Silverbolt, but I do think that this is definitely worth purchasing if you do like Optimus Prime, if you don't really have any other of the Voyagers available at the time, and he just makes a good Optimus Prime figure. So anyway, I will see you guys later.